Okay, the high point 40 caliber carbine is back. It was gone 1 day short of 2 weeks from the day that I shipped it. And I sent it directly via the U.S. Postal Service, and it came back directly to my doorstep via FedEx. Signature required. You can do that with a long gun, a rifle, or a shotgun. With a pistol, you have to send it either common carrier, like FedEx or UPS, in which case it has to go overnight air, so it ends up costing, last time I did that it was about $65, I think. So you can either do that or go take it to your local FFL and have them ship it for you, which, depending on the FFL, will probably be cheaper because they can actually mail it. An individual can't mail a handgun. That's U.S. federal law. But an individual can mail a rifle or shotgun to the manufacturer or to an FFL or whatever. So that's what I did. It cost a little bit over $20. I expected it would cost $30, but it was actually a good bit below $25 to send it. And so, like I said, it showed up. It came back in less than 2 weeks, and it came with 2 magazines. I sent one magazine with it, as the instructions say to do, and it came back with 2, and I think they're actually both new magazines. I don't think they sent the original magazine back, but they sent 2 magazines back. Okay, came with a new sling. I did not send a sling with it. Came with the tool. I didn't send that with it either, but it's nice to have a spare. And that's pretty much it. And it says, okay, I asked for a trigger job because I've heard that you can get a free trigger job anytime you send it back. And when I called them, I did call them before I sent it, and they said to write down that it's a hard trigger pull and light primer strike. So that's what I wrote. And so, name of the tech is Vanessa, and it says included in return shipment trigger lock, which is, of course, it's required, instruction manual, sling and op handle package, extra magazine. So yeah, all of those things are included. Okay, and here's the checklist. Rear sight, front sight good, mags replaced, slide replaced, ejector keys replaced, slide retainer replaced, firing pin replaced, firing pin springs replaced, and everything else checked good. It said tested 30 rounds of Aguila ammo. Accuracy tested, no, because I didn't ask them to do that. As far as I know, I haven't shot it enough to really ring out the accuracy, obviously, since it was having light firing pin strikes. But anyway, we'll see. I think from what little I did shoot it, it seems like the accuracy was okay. So there it is. Let's test it. there it is, loaded and ready to fire. Loaded with the good ammo, or at least the best ammo I have. It's using the Remington primers. Not to say that Remington makes wonderful primers, but in my experience, the Remington primers I have, at least, have been reliable. They have fired reliably. So if these won't fire with those primers, then we'll know there's a problem still. And I was just thinking about High Point repair techs. Now these things are not designed to be tweaked and tuned. They're designed to be assembled from assembly line parts. And so when one needs repair, they don't take the part out and, you know, measure it and tune it and all that to make it work right. No, they just replace it. They replaced the slide, firing pin spring, basically the entire, I'm going to call it bolt, the entire bolt assembly on this. And High Point calls it a slide, I call it a bolt. But anyway, they replaced that and a few other parts. And or that might have been the only thing they replaced, internal part anyway. But so that's what they do. I've actually heard of recently of High Point replacing a barrel because somebody sent one in because it was inaccurate. It had become inaccurate over the course of firing it for I don't know how many rounds. But so the owner of it sent it in, and I'm going to guess that the owner was probably firing cast lead bullets in it, and they were leading. Now, I mean, I like cast bullets. This is not anything against cast bullets. This is a big part of the reason that I have this, in fact. So that I can fire cast bullets to my heart's content. But, and I don't know that this owner had, that was what the problem was, but I figure that's probably the case because it would take a lot of jacketed bullets in .40 caliber or in any of these pistol cartridge calibers to wear out a barrel. And this particular one was, the barrel was severely fouled to the point that it was affecting the accuracy. And so what High Point did, instead of cleaning the barrel, they replaced it. That's pretty funny. It was easier to them to just replace the barrel. I mean, or I don't know. Seems to me that it would be easier to clean it, but anyway, they replaced it. And I was thinking about this, and I thought, you know, I mean, they replaced the bolt assembly and fired 30 rounds. Man, that would be a pretty good job. I don't care if it paid minimum wage. I would be willing to go do that, you know, maybe a couple of days a week or something. That would be awesome. You get to do gunsmith work. You don't have to actually hold an FFL because High Point has the FFL. And you're working under the auspices of their FFL. And that would be pretty cool though. Sit there, disassemble a gun, replace whatever parts, you know, you deem needing of replacement, put it back together, and then go shoot 30 rounds or whatever. And do a little bit of paperwork and send it on. Take a break, and then move on to the next one. Man, that would be an awesome job. But anyway, with that said, like I said, I'm using the best ammo I've got right now. These primers have been reliable. And I'm going to shoot, well, okay, let's just try it and see what happens. That last one did not feed, and it felt really light. Or it didn't feed the next one. There we go. So that wasn't a failure to fire, it was a failure to feed based on not enough power to fully cycle the action. This is a very light load, so just a light plinking load, so that's my fault. Although with more rounds fired through it, it'll probably get more reliable with such a light load. But I probably need to step the load up a little bit anyway. Okay. Another magazine. And the last 3 out of this magazine are going to be cast bullets. Another one that probably didn't fully cycle. Yep. Okay, let's try a different load. So all of those rounds fired, that was with the Remington primers. Now let's try some of the Russian Tula primers and see how these work. I know these are kind of hard primers because I've got some revolvers, some K-frame Smith & Wessons in fact, that won't reliably light these off. So if it'll fire these, we're going to declare it fixed. Okay, that's fixed. We're going to try one more thing though. Okay, I have 6 rounds that I attempted to fire before. You can see each of them have firing pin dimples. This one has 2. That was a Winchester factory load that didn't fire. Here's another one that has 2. So we are going to load up these 6 rounds and see if it'll fire those. I don't really expect it to, but it'll be awesome if it does, so I don't have to break them down. That was the factory round. How about that? You know, I didn't think to pay attention to the trigger pull because it said on the paperwork that they did something to the trigger. So, something about pushing the trigger pin in further or something. I don't know. Anyway, the trigger pull is not a problem, so whatever. I don't know if I would necessarily call that a trigger job, but it was okay before, and now it's okay. So anyway, it obviously works reliably now, so they did their job, and I'm going to give High Point Warranty Service a thumbs up. Thanks for watching. Here's something interesting. I was picking up my empty cases. One of the reasons that I'm such a big fan of revolvers, by the way, you don't have to do that. But I came across a loaded round, and it was wet. It's been raining every day for the past few days. I think it's rained every day this week, and this is Thursday, so it's rained quite heavily at times. So this round was wet, so it was here when I was shooting last time, and that was 2 weeks ago. That was over 2 weeks ago. That's when I made the other video, and it was before I sent this off to High Point for service. So this round has been laying up here on the ground all that time, getting rained on, and you can see it's got a dimpled primer, so it's one that didn't fire. And it's been rained on several times, so let's just see if it'll fire. So I'm just going to drop it in the chamber. No magazine. Okay. That's pretty amazing. I mean, I didn't seal that or anything, so I'm surprised that it fired. It was one of the ones that did not fire before, and it's been laying out here in the rain, and it fired. So, I just wanted to say also, I mentioned this a few minutes ago, but when I was testing it, when I had some failures to cycle. This load that I've been using is just, I used a powder measure that was set up for 38 special loads, and it's not a plus P load. It's a standard velocity 38 special 158 grain load is what that powder charge is for, and it actually would be safe with a 180 grain bullet. in 38 Special, I believe. I'm quite sure it would be. And so it's that goes to show how light it is in a 40 caliber, that it's a standard velocity 38 Special powder charge. So like I said, failure to cycle is not any fault of the gun, so that's not a failure. So I'm going to call it 100% reliable to this point. And I've fired, well, I picked up 37, 38, 39. I say 39, I've already picked up 37, and I see 2 empty cases right now. So that's 39. So I fired 39 rounds today, assuming that, well, I fired over 35 rounds anyway, let's just put it that way, in case some of those were also laying up here for a while. But 35 plus rounds I've fired, and no failures, other than the occasional failure to fire because of it being a light load. I mean, failure to cycle, to drive the bolt all the way back because of it being a light load. So I don't consider that, like I said, a failure of the gun. Just wanted to point that out. Again, thanks for watching.